What's up everyone, Andrew Baena here, and on today's video we are going to be taking a look at the Schecter Kenny Hickey Solo 6 EXS baritone 6-string guitar. This guitar is really cool, and it is of course the signature model of Kenny Hickey. I want to give you a fair warning in this video, the style of music that I play is nothing like Type O Negative or Kenny Hickey's other music, so if you came here looking for music like that, I am very sorry to disappoint. What I do on my channel is basically low-tuned metalcore, deathcore, stuff like that. So that's what I'm going to stick to because it's what I know best. And I know this isn't what this guitar was designed for, but I think it actually performs for this genre extremely well, and you're going to see why in this video. So if you're new to my channel, what I like to do first and foremost is show you what the guitar sounds like in a full demo mix. So with that being said, this guitar is currently tuned to drop A using Ernie Ball Mammoth Slinky strings, and here is a short demo song that I wrote using this guitar. Okay, hopefully you enjoyed the demo song that I wrote with this guitar. Next up, we're going to talk about the specs and features of this instrument. So first and foremost, as you can see behind me, and if you're familiar with my channel, I am obsessed with green instruments, and that is the primary reason why Adam over at Schecter decided that they wanted to send this guitar over to me. Big thank you to Adam and the team over at Schecter for sending this over to me, by the way. So obviously this is a steel green finish, and it is, I think, the greenest guitar I have. I have a lot of green things, but I think this is the most green, especially with those big green block inlays that you can see there. So first and foremost, the finish is awesome. Chef's kiss, love green, so I love this immediately. Very biased, I know. Next up, the guitar is made out of mahogany for the body, rosewood fretboard, and last but not least, a maple and walnut multi-ply neck with carbon fiber reinforcements. As for hardware on this guitar, we're looking at a Tone Pros T3BT Tunematic bridge and T1Z tailpiece. It also has Schecter's own locking tuners on the top, which you can see right there. The other spec that's a little more unique about this guitar is, of course, that it is also a baritone guitar. It's one of the, I guess, lowest forms of baritone, you could say. It's a 26.5-inch scale length, so only about an inch longer than your standard 6-string guitar. But it's nice if you want to go a little bit lower than normal. Like I said, I have this tuned to drop A. You can probably get it comfortably down to like drop G or something like that pretty easily. Maybe even lower if you're not too picky about intonation. And then last but not least, for the pickups on the bridge, we have a Seymour Duncan SH4JB bridge pickup. And then in the neck position, we have a Sustainiac pickup, which is very interesting, and we're going to talk about that a lot more. As you can see, there are a few controls on the side here. These two controls are for the Sustainiac, so this turns it off or on, and this changes the mode of the Sustainiac pickup, so it's a 3-way toggle. And then down here we also have a kill switch, so you can fully kill the volume with just the switch, or you still have your volume and your tone. So quite a lot of options in this V formation. I'm always a big fan of kill switches. I personally probably would have just had no volume and only kill switch, but that's just me. And then last but not least, for controls, we also have a 3-way toggle selector up here. Pretty standard stuff in terms of that. And that's pretty much it in terms of the specs and features of this instrument. Next up, I'm going to show you what this guitar sounds like by itself. Since I know a full demo mix isn't everyone's favorite thing, you want to hear what just the guitar sounds like, so I got you. Here's how it sounds with a few different tone examples. Okay, and last but not least, we're going to talk about my thoughts and opinions on this guitar. Now, I do want to mention again that this video is sort of sponsored by Schecter. They did send this guitar over to me to keep, but my thoughts and opinions are my own. They didn't tell me to say anything or not say anything, so I'll try to be as unbiased as possible. Now, with that being said, like I mentioned in the intro, I was not as familiar with Mr. Kenny Hickey's music before this video, and I listened to it, and it's not quite my thing personally, but there's nothing wrong with that, and I think what he has kind of inadvertently done is made a guitar that's really, really good for more modern metalcore or even deathcore, because as we all know, things keep tuning lower and lower and lower. And since some bands don't want 7 or 8 string guitars, baritones are very popular, especially right now. In terms of the quality and feel of this instrument, it is pretty much exactly what I would expect from Schecter. So I think this guitar retails for around $1,200 US or so. And for that price point, I think everything makes complete sense, feels and looks great. The only thing that I didn't like on it is something that I complain about with every guitar that has this, is the gloss neck. I personally always prefer a satin neck or natural neck, but again, since this is a signature guitar, that's probably not what this artist wanted, so I can understand why they didn't do that. So that's just a nitpick from me. But as for the actual sound of the guitar, I wasn't quite sure if I would like this pickup, because again, I know that Kenny Hickey doesn't play the style of music I played, so I wasn't sure if it was going to be good for kind of the more like high gain modern metalcore, I guess you could say. But I thought it actually performed really well. I thought it sounded really, really good, especially for those like chunky drop A power chords. I really liked it. But the coolest part of this guitar, in my opinion, is definitely the Sustainiac pickup. This is something I've wanted to try for a very long time, but most of the time, Sustainiac pickups also come with a Floyd Rose or floating bridge, which I really don't like. So this is one of the few guitars I've ever seen that has a Sustainiac without a floating bridge. So I was really excited about that because I've wanted to try one forever. And I really like it. I think that the pickup itself already sounds really good, but the added features of the Sustainiac are so awesome for adding ambient noises and drone sounds and dissonance, all those extra layers that really help take your mix and your song over the top to that next level. This pickup is really, really good for that. And if for nothing else, I would keep this guitar just to make drone sounds because it sounds so good. And again, for me, since I'm primarily recording with plugins and stuff like that, getting that kind of like weird amp feedback sound is actually pretty difficult if you're not actually recording an amp. So this is a good way to kind of simulate that feel without having to do that and record amps really loudly, which I really like. So that's pretty much going to do it for my thoughts and opinions on this guitar, and that's also going to be the end of this video. If you're interested in learning more about this guitar, please go check out the website, which is going to be linked in the description and the pinned comment below if you want to get one for yourself. Also want to give a big thank you to all my Patreon members whose names are on the screen at this point in time. If you're interested in guitar tabs, audio downloads, stems, or shout out on the screen, you can find all of that over on my Patreon page. Thank you so much for watching this video. I look forward to reading your comments, and I'll see you next time.